Hey, what's up, guys? David Gascon here. Benny versus the Penny, week number 7. Ben's got his party hat on. He's ready to get this thing kicked off and underway. Just want to let everyone know that's watching the show here today that this show is powered by Ecamm Live. It's a Mac-based application for all your streaming needs, whether it's live or on demand. Anything that you want at any given time. You can stream it through Facebook, through Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, Twitch, the whole 9 yards. There's actually 30 applications that you can use for this. If you'd like to have additional information on it, you can click on the description below. After, of course, you subscribe and give us a thumbs up. But you can click on the description below that, get more information on it. Also, you can help support the show if you are interested in purchasing the application. It's extremely cost effective for the year. Do that all with Ecamm Live. Now, Thursday Night Football, a little bit different of a scene with the NFC East being absolutely horrific this year. Ben did that a couple days ago on his show. So with that being said, we'll kick things off with a big man upstairs, Ben Malley. What's up, dude?
Well, first of all, Gascon, I like that you've spent some money here. And what the hell is going on behind you there? Is that what city is that? That's not Los Angeles. Where is that? Somewhere in Europe?
No,
where is that?
Kinda. It's British Columbia. It's the Vancouver Islands.
Oh, it's
up in Vancouver.
Yeah. I've never been to Vancouver. And look at you, Mr. Big Time there. You trying to Trump? I'm sitting here in this. I'm in this setting. For some reason, it hasn't gotten dark behind me. I don't understand.
Well,
it shouldn't be nighttime where I am. I can't figure it out.
Well, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. Don't you have a friend that works as a helicopter pilot? Someone that worked in police?
Yeah. Well, I know a few people that fly helicopters around and all that stuff. But yeah, so it's like, I guess it's just gloomy outside behind me. I think that's the problem. So it's a little gloomy and all that stuff. So, hey, but before we get to Benny versus the Penny, how about them Dodgers? How about them Dodgers? 2 wins away. Two. You see that? 2.
Yeah.
And all you haters, all you morons, the curse of the Bambino. Ha ha! 2 wins away. That was outstanding. Listen, that was an old school type game. Yep. First of all, Walker Buehler, super duper, fantastic. He was great, and that's about as good as a modern day starting pitcher is going to do, because they're not going to leave the modern day starting pitcher in to go all the way through the game. Even if you are mystifying, right, you're not going to go all the way through. So that was good. And the Dodgers, I liked them as the road team. As Dave Roberts would say, number 2, I liked them in that spot on offense. And I got to admit, Gascon, it was a little orgasmic when I saw the squeeze play. It was so out of character. It was like a fat guy eating a salad. It was so out of character to see them use a squeeze play in the World Series. And I think Joe Buck said the last time there was a successful squeeze in the World Series was the 2008 World Series, 12 years ago, when Tampa Bay played Philadelphia. Imagine going over a decade without a squeeze play. One of the for years in baseball, one of the bread and butter plays. But listen, I'm satisfied. Nobody likes Gascon. Happy Ben. Nobody who is in the Maller militia, and this show is really for the top 1% of the Maller militia, the sycophants that have left the radio and come to YouTube to watch this. So listen, it was wonderful. I'm hoping, I'm not optimistic that they'll win on Sunday. They'll win tomorrow, Saturday, as we're doing this live on Friday night into Saturday, and then on Sunday. But I'm still imagining Clayton Kershaw going out and puking all over the mound in his start on Sunday. But hopefully he is breathtaking like Walker Buehler was. So I'm happy. They hit some home runs. It was good all the way around.
Yeah, and when was the last time? I think they said one other time in World Series history a guy had a safety squeeze and then homered in that game too. So Austin Barnes going small ball, then going deep. He crushed that pitch too. So he played well. Dodgers offense showed up, and like you said in a couple of tweets, they got to Charlie Morton early, which was drastically different from Game 7 a few years ago.
Yeah, cheating Charlie. He is. Listen, I know he's not wearing the ugly, soiled uniform of a Houston baseball team, but he is cheating Charlie. He was part of the 2017 Astros, and I love dumb people. I love engaging dumb people. It was some moron on Twitter was like, oh, he didn't benefit. He was a pitcher. He didn't benefit. And I had to explain to the Schmendrick that everyone involved is dirty. Even if they were not batting for the Astros, they're all dirty, Gascon. Charlie Morton was the beneficiary of runs that should not and would not have been scored without cheating. And I was at Game 7 of the 2017 World Series when he came in and pitched 4 innings.
Game 7.
Gascon, it's all about me, Gascon.
No. It was the curse of the Bambino that caused us all for you, Darvish, to vomit all over himself at Dodger Stadium a half an inning into the ball game.
Well, here's the thing. I was not upset as you at Game 7 because you spent money to go to Game 7, and I freeloaded my way to Game 7. So I was not – I was angry. I've become more and more enraged since the years have gone on, and we've obviously found out confirmation that it was a scam and it was – the fix was in. So that's really made my blood obviously boiling here. Frank in LA writes in, he says, Charlie Morton wasn't cheating today. Bang, bang! Thank you, Frank in LA. Tapton Tommy says, Benny has the Morton salty takes. There you go.
Speaking
Pierre,
of...
Hold on, I'm not done. Alf the Alien Opiner says, Mike Fiers is dirty. He's dirty. Yes, he is dirty. But we like him. He's one of the good cheaters, okay? Mike Fiers, good guy. Even though he cheated, we tip the cap to him, all right?
Fair enough. Now,
how about this, late night? Wait. The late night drug tester says Gascon is the ultimate narcissist, showing the world revolves around him.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm surprised he spelled all of that correctly, but that's fine. Google, dictionary, all helped out, I'm sure. It's good. Anyways, I feel good about this week, but speaking of cheating, you did not cheat last week. Do you have an apology for anybody out there? Anyone that invested time and money into what you did? Because
No, there's no apology. This is a free operation here. There's no money being spent. You're not paying to watch this. There's like one commercial or two commercials during this whole show, so it's there's no apology. Don't go.
Hold on. You bitch and moan about certain podcasts that may or may not have questionable audio, and that's free content. And now you give some brutal picks in week 6, and you have no problem at all. Like no apology to the public. No, hey, my apologies, my bad. I'll do better this week.
All right, you Mama Luke, let me explain something to you.
Please.
Be very clear.
Yes.
I handicap the games. I tell you what should happen.
Yes.
And if other things happen, then that's a freak of nature. I can't tell you 100%, but I tell you based on what has happened, what is going to happen. And then a bunch of weird crap starts taking place. A bunch of mystic type things take place. And then you got to figure it out after that. But no, I'm not upset. I mean, there were a couple of those games where I was doing pretty well, and it was looking like I was going to have a really good day. And then by the end, I got knocked in the nuts. But for a while, it was looking good. Wow. But that happens. I mean, and there's going to be other weeks where I'm getting my ass bashed in, and then all of a sudden, I get a bunch of backdoor covers, and everything's great, and all the planets, as Andrea and Berkeley would say, line up, and the dragons and the zombies and the mystical kingdoms and all that come together.
So let's look at this.
Gascon. And by the way, Gascon,
what?
When I'm watching football on a Sunday,
yes,
Gascon is the cheerleader of the apocalypse. This is why Gascon's bad at broadcasting. Let me explain something.
Please.
Mr. Big Shot with your little TV background and all that. It's a mom and pop show. You're trying to show me up, okay?
I'm not trying to show nobody up.
No, you're trying to show me up. And you're doing a good job. But you're very strange. You're abnormal.
Yes.
Because the only way that this thing is going to work is if the picks are good, right? But
yes.
You, every Sunday, now I've noticed a trend. When I have a good Sunday and when I overachieve, I look at I don't know where my phone is here, I look at my phone and there's no text from Gascon. I have a shit show on a Sunday, and it's, why'd you pick that team? Why'd you make that move? Boy, that pick sucked. You're weird, is what you are. Stop.
It's not good.
Better. Do better. Oh my God. I mean, I'm not going to say friendly fire because I don't know if you're a friend, but you come out and ambush. Like the Dodgers ambushed the Tampa Bay Rays and clobbered them. It's wonderful.
So look at this. Week 1, you were good, 10-5-1, and week 6, 4-10. Now the penny was great though. I didn't hear you rant and rave at all about the penny. The penny was 9-5 last week.
People pointing out that your math west of the 405 is not right here.
What happened?
So I've got
45, 43, and 3. You guys could calculate.
I don't know. People are ripping you here.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. They worry about themselves. How about that? Look at this. Look at this winning percentage. You are tied with the penny through week 1 through 6. Week 7, tiebreaker coming up.
Yeah, listen. The point is you win at the end of the year. You do your inventory. It's kind of like you don't judge a horse race at the midway point. If you go to the track, you don't watch the Kentucky Derby and say, after the first 3 lengths of the Kentucky Derby, that's it. No, you wait until the thing's finished. Patience, Gascon, patience. What's wrong with you?
You need to get out of the starting gate.
Patience.
You have not been out of the starting gate. It's been pretty bad. It's been choppy. I expect better of you, especially since you were pretty good last year. Beginning, middle, okay. Back end, you were solid, especially in the playoffs.
I'm not making any excuses. I'm not. But, we're handicapping. We're going to get to the Raider game later.
Yeah.
And we don't even know if the Raiders are going to have 4 of their 5 starting offensive linemen. We assume they will have most of their offensive line, but we don't even know. We're going to handicap that game.
Well, that's right, because Trent Brown is out. Their safety, Jonathan Abrams, out. They got a bunch of guys that are out.
Next man up, do your job. Do your job is the monster.
So where are we starting with? Where are we going for game number 1? Let's get the show on the road. Let's giddy up.
By the way, Frank points out that a 5-11 winning percentage would be 2 games better than the Eagles and the Cowboys in the NFC. So I would be leading the NFC East. That would be number 1 in the NFC East.
How much of that game did you watch on Thursday night? Did you watch more of the election or more of the game?
Well, there wasn't an election. It was called a presidential debate.
The debate, yeah.
Yeah. No, I watched. I had both on. I had the sound up on the debate, and I had the sound down on the TV, and so that's how I did it. And I got to see the end of the game. Fortunately, the debate ended, and I saw it was still a close game, so I saw the end of it. I saw the Giants implosion. So it's all good.
Good. All right. Well, fair enough. So where are we going first? Where are we going?
First of all, we're going to go I'm 1-0 because I did give the pick on the radio. I gave the pick out. I said, take the Giants plus the 4.5. I did give that pick. Giants won, or the Eagles won the game by 1. Giants win the money. So we're already off to a 1-0 start in week 7. We have 1,000% winning percentage, Gascon. And as for you nimrods who are complaining about the audio, we are not able to use the elite Fox Sports Radio equipment. We are obviously, this is on YouTube. It's a different situation, but I think it sounds fine. And you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. All right. You want to send a check. We'll make it sound amazing. It'll sound like I'm sitting on your lap while we're doing this. All right. First up, Cleveland and Cincinnati, the battle of Dick and Dayton's 2 favorite teams. Cleveland comes in 4-2. Cincinnati 1-4-1 heading into this matchup at Paul Brown Stadium. It's on CBS with Spiro Ditas and Adam Archuleta. They have the call. The Browns open a 4-point favorite. They are favored by 3 heading into this matchup. Cloudy and 51 degrees at kickoff in the Natty. And we Are they allowing fans at Bengal games? It's hard to keep track. Some teams are, some aren't. I'm not sure if the Bengals are having fans there or not. I think they might have a limited amount of people there.
Yeah, it's a small amount. Like Dallas there, Cleveland, a bunch of. I mean, not California.
No. Well, the monarchy in California will not allow it, so that'll never happen. I would like to see all the teams in California leave California just to screw the governor. But anyway. So we hope that some of the Cincinnati bros, Justin, Just Josh, Maddie, and the Natty will be there. But I'm going to take the Bengals in this game. Now, Baker Mayfield is still beaten and broken, and Cleveland got smashed pretty good last week by the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is the fly in the ointment. The Baker Mayfield injury is the thing here, and it's really the driving force for me to be on the other side. Cleveland as a road favorite, it's always a risky business for me. And Cincinnati, I know the injury report is not good. Joe Mixon, their big running back, has a bad foot. He is out for the game, so that's a problem. But the Bengals have been a money-making machine so far this year. The odds makers have not been able to get the line right for Cincinnati. The Bengals are one of the top teams in the league against the spread. They're 4-1-1 against the spread, and this is a divisional revenge game. So if you're a degenerate gambler, you look at angles like that. Divisional revenge game for Cincinnati. Remember, they played Thursday night earlier. Joe Burrow got the backdoor cover, one of the great gambling wins of the year here against Cleveland. That was back in week 2. So this will be the first time that Joe Burrow has played an opponent twice. So what does that mean? That means Cleveland players saw him. They're familiar with him. They played against him, obviously. They have tape on him. So what adjustments are the Browns going to make? And more importantly, what will Joe Burrow do to continue to have some success? I think he will. The Bengals have covered 10 of the last 12 matchups here with Cleveland. So in the Battle of Ohio, they haven't won all those, the Bengals. They've won most of them, but they've covered the spread quite a bit. Although Baker Mayfield, he's got 4 wins against the Bengals. The rest of the NFL, not so much. Browns have covered 3 of their last 4 games there. But however, prior to that, they were 5-12-1 against the spread. I'm giving you a lot of numbers. Browns will win the game, but the Bengals will get the cover. It's going to be a nip and tuck game until late in the fourth quarter. Browns on a late field goal win it. Cleveland 26, Cincinnati 24. And the Penny picks.
Penny's going with the Bengals as a straight up winner in this thing. Cincinnati.
Now I'm gonna do a magic trick. I've never done magic before. You wanna see a magic trick here?
I'm scared to even ask, but yes, let me see a magic trick.
All right. Let's see if this will work. I've not tested this out. All right.
It's
so
good.
Here,
it's a perfect element. You're gonna take that little magical
right
penny. Yeah.
See the penny right here. Watch this here. Go down like this here. Now say the magic word. Say abracadabra. Okay.
Abracadabra.
Ooh! Look how much bigger the penny got. Look at that.
It's almost like you gave the penny a magic blue pill. It's pretty good.
That's an advertiser. That's a future advertiser. So I would like to say, I got some listener mail here. I don't know if you can see this, but Chris in Maricopa, Iowa, sent this one in. He's a big fan of the show, the radio show, and he listens to this every week. He says, I am the one on Benny versus the Penny that is always asking about the penny, to see the penny, and even suggested Penny Cam. How would that work? Here's Penny Cam right there. This is for Chris in Maricopa, Iowa. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. You can see that. This is the Penny Cam. Gagon said there simply is no room for the penny because of his fat head. And so there you go. Thank you. And, of course, say abracadabra. You go abracadabra, and then it's back to this little piece of crap right here. So there you go. All right. Thank you, Chris. Moving on. Were you not entertained, Gascon?
I was entertained, but people were complaining about what I had last week for your win total. It was 4 wins and 10 losses, and people were having a problem with that. I don't understand. Check the math. You idiots.
All right, you want me to double check on the math? Hold on.
Yeah, 4 wins, 10 losses, winning percentage of 286. What's wrong with these fools? Abra effing cadabra. What's wrong with you people?
You are so rude to the list. No wonder people hate you. It's that west of the 405 bull crap. Total douche nozzle yet again.
Oh,
you know what you are, Gascon?
tell me.
You're a slapdick is what you are.
It's pretty good. Did you use that the other day on radio? I think you did.
I did, and he got all freaked out because he'd never heard the term. The funny thing is, I used the term before on the radio, and Eddie was there that night and doesn't even remember.
Because he wasn't paying attention. Yeah. That's why.
Probably not. I don't doubt that he wasn't paying attention. All right, next game up for us, Dallas at Washington. It's on Fox. You better watch. Joe Davis, who moonlights as the Dodgers television play-by-play guy, has the call with Daryl Moose Johnston. And this game is a pick'em. The Cowboys open a 3-point favorite. It's a pick'em right now at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. What are you sighing about?
Their fucking defense.
Well, yeah, I mean, their defense. How about their offense last week? Wasn't anything to write home about either. The Cowboys, my God,
yeah,
that was brutal. Bad news. So cloudy, 53 degrees at kickoff. I am going to take the Cowboys. I'm going to take the Cowboys here. Now, a couple of things. Andy Dalton, who obviously was not only a quarterback, he was dreadful in the game against Arizona. He didn't get any help. Zeke Elliott, the fumble machine there, a couple of fumbles in the second quarter, setting up a short field for Alligator Arms Murray and the Cardinals offense. But that was a primetime game. Remember the old rap on Andy Dalton when he was with the Bengals? There's primetime Andy Dalton, and then there's Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock Andy Dalton, and Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Andy Dalton is a legitimately good to above average NFL quarterback, and that's what you've got here. It's perfect. Daytime, not a late start, early television window. Now, the Cowboys are the NFL's worst team at giveaways. They're averaging 2.5 giveaways per game. The offensive line's a hot mess. In fact, the injury report, if you saw the Friday injury report, Zach Martin, their big stud guard, he's out. He's got a concussion, so he's not going to be there. We did a couple of monologues about Mike McCarthy and the palace intrigue of the Cowboys and what's been going on with that, as it's a total shit show with the players going behind McCarthy's back and all that. I'm still taking Dallas from a pure talent standpoint, even with the injuries and even with the infighting. They're still the more talented team. Washington royally stinks. They have an offense gasping for breath. They have one guy who's a playmaker, the wide receiver Terry McLaurin, who's their only thing close to a game breaker. Ron Rivera's team is just, all they do is they throw underneath. Now, listen, everyone has their best day against the Dallas Cowboys. They're like the Keystone Cops on defense. So I do expect Washington, with their flawed quarterback play, to still score some points. But in the end, I am going to take the Dallas Cowboys. The game is just a pick 'em. The last line we had was a pick 'em. So I'm going to take the Cowboys here. Dallas 32, Washington 31. And the Penny picks.
Penny's going with the Washington football team in this one.
Formerly known as the Redskins, Gascon. Formerly known as the Redskins.
I heard Gottlieb the other day on radio just say Redskins flat out.
Why not? Why not? You know what I do is I say formerly known as the Redskins.
Yeah.
Because forever and ever they'll formerly be known as the Redskins.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, here's a blast in the past. Wow, I forgot about this. Alf the Alien Opiner says Roscoe the Parrot versus Malaya the Bobcat. I wonder what happened to that guy. This guy David in Winter Park, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
He drove all the way from Florida to Boston to meet me at that meet and greet we did in 2019 at the Gascon Flagon.
Oh.
He he was a nice guy. He came up there and he's like, I'm going to come out to Vegas. I'm going to gamble. I'm going to come to LA. I'm going to hang out with you. And he was like a super fan. And I think he called one time after that, and then he's completely vanished. He was the guy that went to his car to get Roscoe the parrot.
Oh, yeah.
And came back in with a stuffed animal parrot and said, here's Roscoe. Yeah.
You got some special ones. What about Blind Scott? Didn't Blind Scott ditch you somewhere for a party out in San Bernardino?
Blind Scott? No, not
Yeah.
Blind Scott. No, we ditched. Well, we actually ditched Wayne from Southie because Wayne was out of control, man. I love Wayne, but he was all over the place. And so Wayne went to the bathroom. Actually, he went over towards the bathroom to pick up on some ladies that were at the bar. And so we saw this as a window of opportunity because I took a group of listeners. I took our guy from Toronto. I took the couple from Maine and Blind Scott, and we made a run for it. And we started walking down, it was just some random street there on a chilly night in Boston and got the hell away from them. So we ditched a listener.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Now, hold on a sec. Wait. Is that? No, that can't be the guy. The guy, wait a minute. The guy I just mentioned, there's just a guy in the chat. That can't be him. That's got to be somebody who's pulling my leg. That can't be the guy. There's no way. I just talked about it. I can't speak that guy into reality, Gascon.
You did. You put it out into the universe.
That's the same last name as the guy that I. What the hell's going on? Are we in a different dimension? The guy hasn't called the show in a year. And I swear to God, yes, that's his last name. I have his last name. That's his last name.
That's pretty awesome.
He's a Tampa Bay Rays fan. He says, "Who cares about the fraud Dodgers? My Tampa Bay Rays have more heart and class than your Dodgers." Wow. I'll tell you what. I think that might be him, Gascon.
Yeah,
I think that might be him.
Yeah, because all these are linked to YouTube as well. So, hey, since you have a
wow, man, that is crazy.
Since you guys are having a bromance right now, can you guys quickly give us thumbs up? You can help us out. There's a lot more people coming in here, but help support the cause. Quick thumbs up. Yes, we'd greatly appreciate that.
Up. That's all. Oh yeah, right there. Big thumb. I got a big thumb. There it is. Look at that. Like I learned my video game. That's my thumb play from the video game right there. You see that?
Yeah, your Contra, Top Gun.
I can't believe that guy, David, the Roscoe the Parrot guy, is in the chat. That's amazing to me.
Do you want to give? Do you want me to give you to a moment? Like you guys could embrace?
Well, no, I mean, I wonder what happened to the guy. The guy was a nice guy, and I was like, I haven't heard. He hasn't called the show. He's in Winter Park, Florida, and then all of a sudden, he shows up. Yeah, and he is. I remember he said in 2019, he says the Dodgers and Rays are going to play in the World Series. Yeah. He said that. So, all right, we'll keep it going here. Next up, Detroit at Atlanta. It's on Fox with who? Chris Myers, Brock Heward, and Greg Jennings have the call in this game. The Falcons, a 1-point favorite at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Georgia. And it's a dome, but there'll be light rain, 72 degrees in Atlanta on Sunday. I'm going to take the Lions in this game. I just simply don't trust the Falcons. I'm not going to make this too hard. I don't trust Atlanta with that defense. I know it's only a 1-point line, but the Lions actually have a chance here, amazingly, to get back to 500. The embattled Matt Patricia, and they should win this game. How crazy would it be if the Lions are sitting at 3-3 and they're still right in the mix for at least a playoff spot as a wild card? The Falcons are 0-3 against the spread at home this year. They are 6-12 their last 18 games at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So it has not been a pit of vipers in favor of the home team. Atlanta's defense has given up 18 passing touchdowns to opposing quarterbacks and only 5 interceptions. That's the worst in the NFL. No defense, even the Cowboys in Seattle, has given up more passing touchdowns than Atlanta's defense. So that bodes well for Matthew Stafford, the Lions offense in general. They don't have a ton of playmakers, but they can move the ball around a little bit. Also, you look at some of the injury elements of this game, and you start looking around. You're like, well, what's going on with this? Wait a minute here. Not too many injuries. The big one for the Lions is Desmond Trufant, the defensive back. He's the only Lions player listed with an injury where he's going to be out. He's got a bad hamstring. But you look at the other players here. Danny Amendola, Trey Flowers, Marvin Jones Jr., the other guys all practiced on Friday. So we think they're going to play. And the good thing for the Falcons, although I'm not picking the Falcons, is Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. They were both limited at practice, but they are expected to play. There's no injury designation. But bottom line here, two bad teams. I believe Atlanta is worse. They're coming off a win that was gift wrapped by Kirk Cousins last week. So I will take Detroit in a close game to pull it out. Lions 27 and the Falcons 23. And the Penny picks.
Penny is going with the ATL in this one. Back-to-back W's for them. That's what the Penny says.
All right, Steven writes in. Steven's the Steeler fan in Ohio. He says, this game is easy to handicap. The Falcons no longer have Dan Quinn. The Lions still have Matt Patricia, so he's picking the Falcons to win the game. There you go. All right, good. Wonderful. Moving on here. Carolina at New Orleans in the Bayou. It is on Fox. You better watch. Kevin Kugler and Chris Spielman have the call here. Now, the Saints opened a 6.5-point favorite. This is all the way up, Gascon, to 9.5. Are you bleeping kidding me? 9.5. I don't understand now. You take a look at the numbers. We'll get to it in a minute. It's going to be 81 degrees at the Superdome on Sunday, but it's obviously a dome. I'm going to take Carolina in this game. So I'm going with the Panthers. Carolina stumbled against the Bears last week. They stumbled big time. Teddy Bridgewater has to tidy things up. He had his first real crap performance. He played like diarrhea as a game manager. You can't be having 2 interceptions like that, which he did. So I'm gambling on a zigzag, the zig to the zag. I like teams coming off a loss to play better the following game. But I also like this matchup because New Orleans has the 24th ranked scoring defense. They're allowing over 30 points per game. So that should allow Carolina to get some points on the board. And you're talking about a 9-point line. And the Saints have given up the NFL's second most passing touchdowns on defense. I mentioned Atlanta has given up the most passing touchdowns, but the Saints have given up the second most. And so Carolina, the way to defeat the Saints is that methodical offense, shorten the games. Carolina is third in average time of possession, so they've been able to do that even with Christian McCaffrey out with an injury and still out with an injury. Carolina's without Curtis Samuel, their receiver. Well, he's not out. He's questionable for the game on Sunday. There's no one there that you're like, oh, my God, they can't win without that guy. And then secondly, both these teams, not only Carolina, Gascon, it's also New Orleans, very methodical, shortening games, right? Shortening games. Carolina it has been pretty slow, but so has the New Orleans offense. For example, Teddy Bridgewater is at 7.2 and Drew Brees at 6.3 yards per pass. They rank 29th and 36th. Drew Brees is 36th in the NFL out of 38 qualifiers. That's how he's throwing balls behind the line of scrimmage to Alvin Kamara and these little swing passes. Now, the Saints are going to be without Michael Thomas, friend of the show through proxy with Holiday, one of our callers, who's a Maller Militia guy, and they're related. So I'm going to by the way, Thomas has a bad ankle, hamstring, whatever that is, so he's out. To me, you don't overthink this. I have a principle. Now, Gascon, last week I went away from my principles. That's why I had a horseshit week last week. I will not go away from my principles this week. Not going to do it yet. Don't sigh. Don't give me the LeBron pouty face. Don't do that. Bad job by you. All right? I am going to take the Carolina Panthers, as I said. Anytime you get over 7 points in a divisional game, very rarely do you not take the points. This is not one of the exceptions to the rules. You don't ask questions. You look for Carolina to bounce back. Saints will win the game, but they will not cover the spread. Saints 30, Panthers 23. And the Penny picks.
Penny is going with the Carolina Panthers. Also, Emmanuel Sanders is out of this game too, so his two top targets are out. So
That is true. He is out of the game. Let's see here.
When the hell is Michael Thomas going to see the field, by the way? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Frank in LA says this chat has some momentum. No, it does not. There's no momentum. There's no momentum here. Scott says the point spread is 7 on FanDuel. Well, they're good. You should bet on, if you like the Saints, then bet on FanDuel. Renee writes in, says, Malaysia, sexy drink I get for my very sexy girlfriend, Sonia. So there you go.
So you're bashing someone's spelling?
Well, no. I mean, I think that was like an inside joke, Gascon, because I believe it was our friend in Brooklyn who called the Maller militia the Maller Malaysia. I believe is what he said.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. All right. David. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. This is the guy. It is Roscoe the Parrots owner, David. He says, Ben, tell your lackey man that my 2018 record in the Westgate Super Contest under Pep Talk Dave, he said he won 59%, tied for 231st out of 3,120.
Hold on. We were talking about this, and we were applauding his efforts 2 years ago.
David, you got to call into the show next week, man. I got to have you on the show, David. I got to talk to you, man. You got to call in. I got to catch up, find out where the hell you've been. All right, next up, Gascon. Next up, Buffalo at the Jets. It's on CBS with Greg Gumbel and Rich Gannon. You think Gumbel's going to be calling Josh Allen Lamar Jackson this week or Kyler Murray?
No fucking chance.
Probably not. Maybe they'll call him Jim Kelly. Yeah, Gumbel had a problem last week. He kept calling Lamar Jackson Kyler Murray, which might have gotten another broadcaster fired, but Gumbel just apologized, and then that's it.
It's a sizable difference, too, in quarterbacks.
Yeah. It's actually very similar. Hold on a sec here. Hold on a sec. I think I lost it. Damn it. I was going to do the penny thing here. I've already lost. Well, I have the big penny. I have that penny. See right there? I have that penny, but I don't know.
It's a monster penny.
That is a huge penny. Hold on a sec here. Something fell down here. All right. Buffalo and the Jets. Buffalo a 13-point favorite. It's at MetLife Stadium. Sunny and 52 degrees at kickoff. I am going to take... Not going to do it.
Don't do it.
I'm not going to do it. I can't do it, Gascon. I can't. I hope I lose, but I can't do it. Here we go, Buffalo. Here we go, Buffalo. Here we go, Buffalo. Yeah, I hate double-digit favorites in the NFL. I can't stand them. It's just so painful. So painful. But I am going to do it. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills. I'll lay the 13 points. Typically, as I just said, you blindly would take the Jets, getting almost 2 touchdowns, double digits in the NFL has been a gold mine, but this is the exception. All right, this is the exception to the golden rule, and the sports books cannot make the line big enough. When the Jets play New York, or the Jets play anywhere, whether it's in New York or on the road, they played 6 games. They are not only 0-6, they are 0-6 against the spread. Ugh. And going back to the end of last season, the Jets are 2-9 their last 11 games against the spread, but 0-6 this year. Now, you say at some point the Jets are going to cover a spread. They're the worst team in the NFL, and the gap between the Jets, all right, the Jets are here, and everyone else is like up here. There's like a huge gap between the very bottom and where the Jets are. So I'm going to take Buffalo. Josh Allen has been a roller coaster. We did a couple of monologues about Josh Allen recently, and it's like a roller coaster that broke down the last 2 weeks. He's been terrible. His passer rating is below 80. That was against the Titans and the Chiefs. Humiliating. That was a test. That was an acid test for Buffalo. They did not get it right. Now it is back to double fisting cream puffs playing the New York Jets. And I don't care whether Sam Darnold plays. I saw him listed on the injury report that he's questionable, that he's likely to play. I guess it'll come down to Sunday to whether or not he plays. But it doesn't matter whether it's Joe Flacco or Sam Darnold or the guy driving the trash truck. In fact, I would say you could take 11 guys from the New York City sanitation department, and they would be able to play tougher than this current New York Jets team. So the Jets, how about this? They've been outscored by 110 points. That's the point differential. After 6 games, they are on pace to have the worst point differential in the history of the NFL. Jets blow. Bills 34 and the Jets 13, your final. And the penny picks.
You know who the pennies go with. Go with the Buffalo Bills in this one.
Come on, Jet-E-T-S. Jet-E-T-S. Suck, 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 suck.
What would be the line for you to back the Jets in this game? Like 19?
I would go like 17. If it got to about 17, I would consider it. Anything over 17, I would take it. Dan writes in, he says, if the Jets win, I expect a full monologue on just the Bills alone. They'd earn that shame. Late Night Drug Tester says the Jets fans are longing for Rich Kotite. Well, you actually have the modern day Rich Kotite now. You have the modern day Rich Kotite. You do.
Except for the bug eyes.
Congratulations. Oh, the crazy eyes. Yeah. Rich Kotite, I knew some guys that covered the Jets, and he had coached in Philadelphia back in the 90s, and they said that the one thing Rich Kotite did as coach of the Jets consistently is play golf. That he coaching the team was not a priority, but playing golf, he was very good at that. Frank says the Chiefs-Jets line. Frank in LA says the Chiefs-Jets line for next week is already Kansas City minus 22.
That's fucking disgusting.
Wow.
Lay the points, though. Lay the points.
It's over 3 touchdowns. I'm not. This is not college football.
Yes, it is.
We have a Who Am I game, Gascon, or an Insta Trivia, or any of those questions? You want to give one of those out now, or should we wait a few more games?
We could do one if you'd like. Let's do
one.
Let's
do it. All right, let's do it. What question do you have here?
Let's do this first one. I've been pressured on 31% of my dropbacks this season, the most in the National Football League. Who am I? And, of course, Ben, they are brought to you by...
Yes, brought to you by Fanatics, friend of the show. Fanatics is partnered with his Cheeseball podcast, which is not under the umbrella of a big corporation. This is not a Fox production. It would sound better. This is not an iHeartMedia production. It would look better. This is just, although Gascon spent how much did you spend on that background, Gascon? What are you at the CNN setter or something like that? My God.
$1,000 on the gear and $1,000 a day on the body. What's wrong with that?
Wow. How much did you spend on those hair plugs?
Somebody's jealous. Man, why don't you take your hat off? Why don't you take your hat off before you take shots at someone's hair? How about that, big man?
You like Brian Finley? You want me to strip? Is that what you want me to do?
No. I want everything above the shoulder. Brian Finley is everything below the waist. 2 different people.
No. Brian Finley at Weasel asked me to strip also. Oh, you guys want me to get naked? You want me to take clothing off? I've never asked you to take clothing off. All I said, I gave you a compliment. I said, whoever did your hair plugs did a good job. They look good. It looks like real hair. That's a good job by the doctor.
It's a nice backhanded compliment.
The doctor.
Yeah.
No, you should promote the doctor. How long did that take to have those hair plugs put in? Because
there's only 2 people that I know that have hair plugs, and one of them you used to work with on the Blitz, but that show got canceled. So maybe ask him after the show's over.
I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know. That person's dead to me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Until November the 4th.
Yeah, until after the election, and then that's it. All right, Fanatics though. By the way, guys, Fanatics offering all the latest sports apparel, great premium prices. So the way this works, I'm not asking you to buy a piece of memorabilia or a hat or a shirt if you don't need it, but every once in a while we want to buy something. I got a whole collection of hats, and you guys have been great sending some hats in over the last couple of years here. So go to Fanatics, the website, but click on the link, because the way this works, it doesn't cost you anything, but we get a little taste if you buy something. So if you're going to buy something anyway, just click the link right in the description box on the YouTube page, and that's it. It's right there. It's the second paragraph, that little blue part at the very end there. The link You click on that. Great sports apparel, all the latest gear, premium prices, and it's. I guarantee you're gonna get the same thing you would have gotten without this. It doesn't cost you anything more. It just takes a little money out of Fanatics' pocket and puts a little bit of money, a couple of pennies in our pocket. So that is a good thing. All right, now some of the answers coming in.
First of all,
yes.
Well, first of all, the correct answer is not Jeffrey Toobin. I'm gonna throw that out there. Wait, guess that.
Yes. Are you going to do the Toobin later on, Gascon? No, you're not going to do the Toobin?
Man. All right. Oh, man. Oh, man.
Baker Mayfield was guessed by Mason the Millennial. Oh, how about Mason the Millennial checking in from the Bay Area? Scott is going with Richard Todd. Chris is saying, hey, well, how about a strip show? That's what Gascon wants. Renee checks in with Jared Goff of the Rams. Burt Jones, guessed by Rich, the Rams fan. The Penny's Burger account's going with Mr. Gray. Max says, is it Eddie Garcia? Jonathan, is that Jonathan in Delaware? Is that the guy from Delaware? I'm not sure because everyone's got a different name on YouTube. Well, not everyone. Some of you guys have the same name. But Cleo Lemon was his guess. Page down here, page down. Man, I got so many answers here. I don't know where to go. Let's see. I can't read that. Chad is going with Tom Looney. Why would you do that? Frank in LA says Rudy Giuliani's tuck rule is the answer. Max says Roberto. A lot of Toobin answers, a lot of Jeffrey Toobin, as you said, Gascon there. Latrell Sprewell from Triple Nickel Pickle in the Northeast. Jonathan says he's not that Jonathan. This is the other Jonathan. That's a bad job by me. All right. Do you
read his last name. That's why. His last name's on there. What's wrong with you?
I don't know. Everyone. Do you think I memorized everyone's last name?
Yes. You have enough sycophants. Yes. The answer is Justin Herbert of your LA Chargers.
Yeah. All right. Give the question again and then give the answer. Do it right, talk show host boy. Do it right.
No. This is your gimmick. This is your claim to fame, the Who Am I game.
Well, no, if you're going to give the answer. Hey, by the way, I see there's more people in the damn chat. Thumbs up, you morons. Thumbs up, all right? What's wrong with you people? Freeloading. You're like Weed Man. You're like Weed Man hippie. My God. All right, let's move on. Yes?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, I see Rob in Vegas. He was going with King Kong Bundy. We've already given the answer, Rob. You're late to the party. Bad job by you. All right, the next game for us, we have Green Bay at Houston. Green Bay 4-1. The Green Bay Packers 4-1, coming off their first loss of the year. The Houston Texans 1-5. It's on Fox. You better watch. Friend of the show, our guy Kenny Albert. We got to get Kenny on the fifth hour one of these weeks.
Yeah.
Did you see? Was it Justin in Cincinnati's trying to book Sean Salisbury? Get him on the
for what?
For the podcast. He does the morning show, and you remember he used to be at ESPN. He does the morning show at our affiliate in Houston, 790 in Houston.
Yeah, doesn't he work for like SB Nation too?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Wait, you have a caller trying to book guests for the podcast?
Yeah. You know why?
What's wrong with you?
Because you don't do your job, Gascon. You don't. Gascon's idea of a guest is, can we have Leo Terrell on again? Can we get Leo Terrell on again?
Leo Terrell's a great get. Civil rights attorney. He's a scholar. He's a friend of the show. Yeah. He actually listens to your shit. And,
I love Leo, but I don't know that we need to have Leo on every week. You know,
we had him on twice.
And you wanted to have him on 2 other times that I shut him down.
That's not true.
That is true. That is true. I mean, I've gone through my whole phone of old radio people to have on the fifth hour.
Yeah, we need someone that's under the age of 70.
Well, you just want to put political people on. That's all you want.
I brought on the CEO of a company on today for the podcast. I didn't hear any praise from you on that. The CEO of the Babylon Bee. I did that, not you.
I don't know that podcast did well. I'm not sure. I don't know the numbers on the podcast. I don't know if that resonated with the P1s. If they like that.
Whatever. They're going to listen to it anyway. Anyways, Packers and Texans. Let's go.
Good attitude. All right. So Green Bay and Houston, the Packers, a 3.5-point favorite And the weather mostly sunny, 79 degrees at kickoff at NRG Stadium in Houston. I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers. Don't normally like road favorites, but I like Green Bay this week. Aaron Rodgers, who was upstaged last week. Packers got off to that great start after the first quarter and then just pooped the bed in the second quarter against Tampa Bay and that Buccaneer defense. Now he goes against the Texans. Their defense ranked 30th in the NFL, so this is a major upgrade of opportunity for that Green Bay offense to have some success. You would assume that Aaron Rodgers is immeasurably going to play better this week against the tomato cans who are wearing those uniforms of the Texans. So if you go by the numbers here, it has been a very profitable wager to support teams that get blown out by 20 points or more, like Green Bay. They have covered 54%, I think is the number, the next week. So it's an over 500 winning percentage, almost 55, right around 55%. That's over the last decade consistently. Also, road teams with line moves like Green Bay, where the line moved up a little bit. Packers opened a 3-point favorite. It ticked up to 3.5. And if you look at that trend, that is a 63% winning percentage against the spread. So some of the numbers there. The Texans with Deshaun Watson have scored a fair amount of points. They obviously had the lead against the Tennessee Titans last week. They blew it. They lost the game in overtime. But the Texans do not have long drives. It's not my opinion. That's a fact. Houston is ranked 32nd. They're dead last in time of possession per game. So the other team has a time advantage of, I think it's like about extra 8 minutes or so per game the other team has. The Packers lead the NFL, by the way, in time of possession. So that's usually a pretty good indicator. The Texans also, their last 16 games against the spread, Houston is 4-10-1. So they have the record I had last week against the spread, which is not good. Packers, 37. And the Texans, 24. Your final on the Penny picks.
Penny is going with the Houston Texans in this one. That is scary. Don't rehash last week. Last week was bad enough. It was painful. You
can't run from it, Gascon. You can't run from it. You've got to embrace it. You must embrace it.
Oops, I forgot to. There it is. What? Now it's official. Landed on its head. Had to flip it again. So it is with the Houston Texans. Listen. I need
you flip it. I got it right here. How can you flip it? You can't flip it.
There's more than one.
Right there. See that? Look, it is the Penny versus Gascon is what this is.
I have a note that was directed towards you. Burt Resident says, I must say I'm excited to listen to the CEO of the Babylon Bee after this.
What is that? Is that your cousin or something like that?
No, it's not your cousin. Why? Is someone supporting the podcast and supporting you and all the smut you put up there, and now you're slapping them in the face? What's wrong with you?
All right, moving on, Gascon. The show continues. You jackass. You're trying to slow me down here. This is a fine-oiled machine. We cannot be stopped, Gascon. We cannot be stopped. All right. Pittsburgh Steelers. This big game this weekend on CBS. Pittsburgh at Tennessee. Ian Eagle has the call on CBS. And Charles Davis, our friend who used to work at Fox, is now a Steelers broadcaster. At least this week he's a Steelers broadcaster, as he is on the call for this game. Now, the Titans opened a 1.5-point favorite. They are favored by 1. They are favored by 1 here. Mostly cloudy, 67 degrees at kickoff at Nissan Stadium. I am going to take the Steelers as a small underdog on the road. Now, the injury report is very important in this game. Right, you look at the guys who are out, some of the practices. Ben Roethlisberger, right? He didn't practice on Wednesday. He was limited on Thursday for non-injury reasons. The quarterback, he did practice on Friday. There's no note around Roethlisberger on the injury report, so you look at that. That's pretty good. The key thing here, though, is that David DeCastro, the offensive lineman there, he's had a bad abdomen injury in that area. He is going to play, and Juju Smith-Schuster, who's really done nothing, is also going to play in this game. How about this for a fun fact? Mike Tomlin, as a dog since 2018, the Pittsburgh Steelers with Tomlin are 10-2 against the spread. That is an .833 winning percentage. They have been straight cash, and this is really the unstoppable force versus the immovable object, because we're talking about Derrick Henry for Tennessee, the top running back in football right now, the most lethal weapon in the backfield against the Stonewall defense, Stonewall Jackson of the Steelers. Pittsburgh has allowed an NFL low 274 yards rushing this season, and only 3 rushing touchdowns. Here we are. They're heading into their 6th game of the year. So it's been a very good run defense, although to be fair, they haven't played very many good teams, and they've had the lead in most of those games, so the numbers are skewed a little bit. Everyone's been smooching all over Mike Vrabel and Tennessee, and Tennessee has been impressive. They're clicking on all cylinders. Ryan Tannehill somehow is the NFL's 3rd-ranked quarterback, which is bananas, and the Titans have played clean football. They've played disciplined football, and they're doing all of the things that you think of some of those old Patriot teams that they were able to do with Belichick. This is going to be a slobber knocker. It's going to be a game that will be decided in the 4th quarter, and I am going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers 26 and the Tennessee Titans 24. And the Penny picks.
Penny is going with the black and yellow Pittsburgh Steelers.
Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Remember that song?
I do.
Or was
I
it
do.
black and gold? It was black and yellow, right? It wasn't black and gold.
Yes.
It was black and yellow.
Don't doubt yourself, Ben Maller. That's something you never, ever, ever do. You don't lack in the confidence department. That's for damn sure.
Dan writes in, he says, slide over baby hour on Gascon's night background. There you go. People goofing on your background.
I don't think they're goofing on it. They just like that it's nighttime here in LA, west of the 405.
Scott says he would not touch this game, just one to watch. He was talking about the Pittsburgh-Tennessee game. No, I disagree. Like, I wouldn't touch the Jets-Buffalo game because I can't bet on the Jets, and I wouldn't want to lay 13 points with Buffalo.
Ugh.
But, no, I mean, I don't mind. I think you can make a compelling argument on any one of those. You know, you can bet Tennessee. I can make a compelling argument where I feel comfortable. Tennessee's at home. They're playing well. Pittsburgh, even though they've been a covering machine here, there are some injuries, you know, some guys that are out there that I did not mention. They did get some guys back. But, no, I wouldn't have a problem betting either side in that game. I think Pittsburgh's the way to go, but I wouldn't have a problem. All right, next up, let's get to the late television window. And this game was supposed to be played Sunday night, and then they had the old switcheroo. It was going to be the Sunday night game with Al Michaels and Collinsworth. Now it is a late game. Tampa Bay 4-2 at Las Vegas 3-2. We believe this game is now a Fox game, right? Adam Amin and Mark Schlereth will have the call. They were going to call the Arizona-Seattle game, so a last-minute change. I hope Adam Amin did not do his game board early in the week for this for the Arizona game, because that's the old switcheroo. But yeah. Tampa Bay and Vegas. Now, full disclosure, this game is off the board at some locations. The last line that we had were Buccaneers 3.5-point favorites. So that is the line we are going to use. But because of the Raiders situation with COVID and the players who are in the twilight zone, this game is not posted at a lot of places. But it's going to be sunny in the 70s, high 70s at kickoff at Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. I am going to take the Raiders despite all the chaos. And there is chaos around the Raiders and what's going on with their offensive line and all that heading into this game. But I am going to take lost wages Nevada plus the 3.5. So my thinking on this, the Bucs defense has been wonderful, cream of the crop, number 1 in the NFL in opponent yards per game. The Raiders have the 24th ranked defense. So that's a huge advantage in favor of Tampa Bay if you just compare that side of the ball. The thing that I'm looking at here is the Buccaneers have been fawned over after they beat the Green Bay Packers. It's like, Brady, he made the right decision. The Buccaneers are wonderful. How great is it? Because when Tampa lost to Chicago, everyone's like, Brady's washed up. He can't play anymore. And then they go out and beat Green Bay. And then it's like you do a 180 the other direction. I love the overreaction machine of the NFL. I'm not part of that. I believe Tampa Bay is like a 9 or 10 win team. I realize they've already got 4 wins. But by the time the dust settles, I believe they will be like in that 9-10 range and all that. Tom Brady getting all the headlines yet again in Tampa. However, did you know that Ronald Jones, keeping up with the Joneses, has accounted for 25.3%, a quarter of the Tampa Bay offensive yardage? That is number 6 among all running backs in the NFL. So he was a guy that you're like, we got to get Leonard Fournette. Remember, they brought Leonard Fournette in because they didn't think that Jones would be the guy, and Fournette's been inactive. He's in the doghouse, which is a place he's familiar with because he was in the doghouse in Jacksonville. Anyway, second part of this. Now, Vegas, they've got the COVID outbreak heading into the game, and you're like, what's going on? Who's going to play? I don't know who's going to play. You know, and that is a legitimate concern because if the Raiders don't have 4 of their 5 offensive linemen, what are you doing? I don't believe that the NFL will allow this game to be played. I think they will postpone this game. If it gets to Sunday morning and we find out that the Raiders cannot field their offensive line, they don't have enough offensive linemen, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the NFL pushes this game either back to Tuesday or they don't play the game at all. So I'm going on the assumption that the Raiders will have most of their offensive line able to play in this game. And so far this year, Derek Carr has outplayed Tom Brady. Derek Carr is the 2nd-ranked quarterback in the NFL. That doesn't look like that on the eyeball test. He did play well against the Chiefs. I give him that. The only quarterback with a higher passer rating is Russell Wilson. That is it. Tom Brady, by the way, is right in the middle. He's the same player he had been the last couple of years with the Patriots. Brady is ranked 15th in the NFL. Now, the thing that does scare me in this game is the Raiders' inability to defend pass-catching running backs. They have the NFL's worst defense in this department. They've allowed 331 yards in the pass game to opposing running backs, 331 receiving yards over the course of the 5 games that they've played here. That's worse than the NFL. And what does Tom Brady do? What is his bread and butter? That's right, dink and dunk. Those little short passes, Brady's always loved that. Those drop-off passes to Ronald Jones. Now, that said, home underdog, a pretty good Raider team. I believe these teams, when you crunch the numbers, are in that same area where they're like 9-10 win teams. Obviously, the offensive line's the key thing here for the Raiders, but I am going to take the Raiders to cover. This will be a tight game. Buccaneers will get a field goal late. Bucs 33, Raiders 30. Raiders win the money. And the penny picks.
Penny is going with Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
There you go. Scott says Mark, the full name guy, needs to be the moderator. Do we need to get Mark, the full name guy, in here? No.
Does he even own a phone, let alone internet?
Yeah, he did own a phone. He broke the screen on his phone, so he's been blowing up my mailbox.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. I have so many emails from him. It's outrageous. Like, because he used to go on Twitter. He can't do that right now until he gets a new phone. So he's just been sending me endless messages. Like every monologue I do 4 monologues a night. 4 of them. Some of them are good. Usually one of them's good. One of them's okay.
Which one do you tape record?
One of them's average and one of them sucks. So there's 4 of them. But Mark the full name guy attacks me every night, no matter what I say. He just attacks me. So,
Are any of the monologues recorded?
For posterity's sake, they are recorded, and they're on Twitter and Facebook and all that. Yeah.
They are sent out to the Arizona Republic.
Mason the Millennials. Yes, right. The Arizona. We're going to talk about that on these Saturday podcasts, right? Is that our big topic, I believe, on the fifth hour? We go into great detail about how my monologues are upsetting the fanboys in the Arizona media, the cheerleaders for the Cardinals masquerading as newspaper writers. I remember when I first got in the media, the newspaper guys, and they're rolling over in their grave at the reaction of the newspaper of record in Phoenix, the Arizona Republic. How embarrassing.
Speaking of being embarrassing, since you got more people that are popping in here into the chat, do us a favor, do us a solid, give us a quick thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it. Got a bunch of guys that are coming in here right now, so thumbs up, please.
Yes, Lee in Phoenix says he still loves me, but I don't think he loves you. Nor should you, Lee.
I can't believe he spelled I correctly. It's a good job by him.
What a dick. David Gascon.
It's come a long way. I applaud that. It's a good job by Lee.
La-dee-da. West of the 405, Gascon. West of the 405. All right, next up, Santa Clara at 3-3, traveling all the way to the Northeast. They will take on the New England Patriots at 2-3. It's on CBS. Now, how about this for a programming decision? This is the big game on CBS. Jim Nantz and Tony Romo are going to call the game. To me, this is not the big game.
No.
The Steeler-Titan game is the game, but this is the game that's in the prime television window and not the late afternoon window. This is the big game for CBS this weekend. Patriots opened a 5.5-point favorite. They're only a 2-point favorite in this game. Sunny and 51 degrees at Gillette Stadium. I am going to take a shocker. I'm taking the Patriots as a small favorite to beat the Niners, and I'm gambling that Cam Newton will play well enough to not lose the game and allow the Patriot defense to make some plays. The Patriots did not allow a touchdown on defense last week or in the game. It was all field goals, and they still lost the game.
Yeah.
Because Cam Newton was such a stumble bum, they couldn't figure it out. Now, the Patriots wide receiving core is god-awful. I think that we could put Hollering James, Cowboy and Windsor, Blind Scott, and the Cincinnati bros out on the field, and those guys would be better than the N'Keal Harry and the guys that are playing receiver for the Patriots. They've just been god-awful there. The Patriots also, here's one other thing on New England. Now, I'm picking the Patriots, but there is a troubling trend here. Bill Belichick, the last 8 games at Gillette Stadium for the Broncos, the Patriots are 3-5 against the spread. They have a losing record over their last 8 home games against the spread, but I'm taking them this week. Jimmy Garoppolo makes his triumphant return to Foxborough. He was the heir to Tom Brady's throne. We all remember that. And he's back in New England, an opportunity to shove it down Belichick's throat and the Patriots' throat. The key here, and the reason I like the Patriots, the secret weapon for New England, something they've been very good at, is stopping opposing tight ends. And in fact, they have the NFL's second best defense against the tight end position, meaning that the production of the opposing tight end has been obviously the second worst in the NFL. Now, what is the big weapon for the 49ers? Who's the straw that stirs the drink? That's right, George Kittle. George Kittle is the guy. You take him away, you neuter a big chunk of that 49ers offense, and here's the other thing. Raheem Mostert, who has established himself as the top running back. Remember they had that rotation last year, and they still have a stable of running backs with the 49ers. He is out of the lineup. He's out for a while. In addition, here's another thing that if you look at, we say that styles make fights. The Patriots are the top team in the NFL against opposing tight ends. Well, the 49ers defense has allowed the most rushing yards to opposing quarterbacks, that means that Cam Newton, as a dual threat quarterback, even if he sucks at throwing the ball this weekend, can get some yardage by running past those linebackers for the 49ers. I am going to take the Patriots. They got to win this game. They lose this game, you go to 2-4, and this thing will start spiraling the wrong direction at a rapid rate. This is a must-win situation, and the Patriots will find a way. New England, 26. Santa Clara / San Francisco, 20. And the Penny picks.
Penny is going with the New England Patriots as well. Hard to believe the last time they had a losing record was back in 2000. Man.
It's not hard to believe. They've been great every year. How can you say that's hard to believe?
Well, for
They've
1
been
year.
The dynasty of the NFL.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm just saying because they've kept up that level of excellence for so long. I mean, they're like the Los Angeles Lakers of the National Football League. They've had dominance and greatness for so many years, decades and decades. It's not like a 1 year wonder or something like that, like your shitty Clipper team.
Chris writes in, he says, the Royals are having trouble on the road. No, I think I said the Royals are having their problems on the road. I think that's what I said. Get it right, Chris. And that was like 17 years ago. How dare you? Renee, my man Renee is completely sauced. This might be beer drinking Brian. He says, my sexy friend Sonia loves hearing your show every week. She loves hearing your sexy voices. I hope it's not the margaritas talking. I'm going to go it's the margaritas. Steven says, I've got Jack the Judge being the N'Keal Harry in a 40, or beating N'Keal Harry in a 40. That's a good line. That's a pretty good line. I think Jack the Judge, the guy runs every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mason the Millennial says, the Santa Clara County area is a joke. Such a shame they don't allow fans. I don't even like the 49ers either. I'm right there with you, Mason. I love the fact. Did you see what the mayor of the 49ers is doing?
No.
Did you see? There was a big story. The mayor of Santa Clara is all upset because the owner of the 49ers is apparently paying millions of dollars to buy off. According to the newspaper, I was reading it earlier today or yesterday, depending on where you are, but the owner of the 49ers is paying off city council people who are running for election so he can get more power and do things he wants as far as, allowing human beings to attend games and things like that.
How very crazy. California of him.
Well, people, here's the thing. Like, people are upset, like, oh, I don't think it's right. That's how politics work. Yeah. That's why we hate politicians, Democrat, Republican. They're all slime balls. They all tell you what you want to hear, and then as long as you got a check, and you cut the check, I don't care if you're blue team or red team, they're going to do whoever pays them. They're going to do the bidding of whoever pays them. I hate it. It's the way it is.
Yeah. Tell me how you really feel. All right, let's get trivia real quick.
By the way, that guy, Chris, you screw you. Chris says, good Lord, Ben, you're old. I was 5 years old when that drop happened. There's no way. There's no way. You're not 22 years old. Screw you. How dare you?
Old man Ben, youthful Gascon. I like that.
Yeah. The guy's lying. You like liars. You enjoy liars.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. All right, let's get trivial.
All right, what's the question, Gascon?
Here we go. Giants quarterback Daniel Jones has 34 turnovers, most for an active quarterback in the first 20 games. His first 20 games. I own that record previously. Who am I?
All right, who am I? These questions made possible by Fanatics. And you can send your questions in. And the cool thing about this, Gascon, is that there is no delay. Normally, when I give out a question on the radio, there's like a 17-minute delay from when we actually do the show. So I have to wait 17 minutes to give the answer. But there's no delay on YouTube. We're doing this live. Do it live. We're doing it live. It's made possible by Fanatics. And if you want to buy a hat or a shirt or an autographed picture or some new socks or some underwear, they have everything on Fanatics. Anything you could possibly want. It's great. All the latest sports apparel. That's what they're known for. But they have other stuff on there as well. And the cool thing is, all you have to do is click that link in the description box on the page, and you just shop normally as long as you go through that link. And we will get credit, and we'll get literally 1 cent, I think. We get one. Is it 1 cent, Gascon, that we get, or 2 cents?
8 cents.
8 cents. We'll get. You'll send us 8 cents, which is more than Weed Man Hippie has made in 20 years.
Yeah.
8 cents. 8 cents. It makes sense. And so again, fanatics.com. So what's the question again, Gascon?
Giants quarterback Daniel Jones has 34 turnovers, most for an active quarterback in his first 20 games. I own that record previously. Who am I?
All right. The answer's coming in here. Pierre says Phil Simms. Who else do we have? Vinny Testaverde, guessed by Chris. Russell is going with Brett Favre. The burner account for the penny says Jeff Hostetler. Brady Quinn was guessed by the Brave Niner. Is that Jonas Knox's burner account?
Yeah.
I don't know. Mason the Millennial says the butt fumble Mark Sanchez. Chris, who claims he was born in 1997.
It's a good year.
How about that? He's going with Mo Vaughn. Joey Harrington. Oh, I'll never forget. This is before you, Gascon. I used to kill Joey Harrington, the piano man, when he was playing with the Lions. And then he played, I think he played in Atlanta and one other city as a backup, maybe Miami. And then he was out of the NFL, and Fox Sports Radio hired Joey Harrington as a weekend host. And I had just I had bludgeoned Harrington his entire career. It was very awkward.
Yeah.
It was very awkward. And these guys all say, they don't listen, but they know.
Yeah.
They know when we're killing them. They're aware of it. They might not listen. We think they do listen, but more importantly, their friends and their family listen. They're aware of what's going on. Marco the Cowboy, or Mark the Cowboys, Cowboy Mark's going with Mark Sanchez. Who else do we have? Inca. Is this Inca Terror? It might be Inca Terror. Is going with David Gascon, west of the 405. His white privileged voice. There you go, Gascon.
What a loser!
How dare you?
What
See,
a
you
loser.
don't have any. You don't have any street cred like me. I lived in Lincoln Heights, Gascon, for 7 years.
Yeah.
One of the shittiest neighborhoods in Los Angeles. Yeah. And I had to deal with the Avenue gangs in L.A., and I lived there for 7 years. Now, I might have lived in a gated community, but still, I lived in Lincoln Heights. I got street cred, man. Wow. I do.
Good for you.
All right, some of the other answers. Rodney Pete was guessed by the burner account for the penny. Billy Joe Holbert from Trot Dog. Hey, there's a cough button, dummy. What's wrong with you? How dare you? Who else do we have? Wrong button Bob, guessed by Walt. And page down here, page down. Let's see here. All right. Do you have an answer, Gascon? Geno Smith was guessed from Captain Howdy, and there's some other ones, but go ahead. Jameis Winston from Charlie. How about Captain Howdy getting it right? Good job by him. And it is, Gascon, it is Inca Terror. I am Inca Terror. This is my professional handle. And you took a shot at Inca Terror. Inca Terror is, you are such a dick. This guy, you don't listen to the show. He's a classically trained musician. He has performed in Russia, plays the piano. He's performed all over at some of the biggest theater halls in the world. No. Well, my plan was to impress my wife. We were going to go watch Inca Terror perform in LA. I get some cred with the wife, but then the apocalypse happened. And the other problem is that a lot of Inca's performances are in Europe and well, no. I mean, if he performs in Los Angeles, I'd do that. I would travel to San Francisco, or I might even go to New York and see him in New York City if he performed in New York City. But he has a lot of stuff outside the country.
Wait, so
late night.
So he only performs when he comes to the United States. He only performs in L.A. He doesn't go to Vegas, New York.
No. He lives in New York. He lives on the East Coast, but. Yeah, I don't think he comes out to the West Coast very much. No. What I said was if he performed on the West Coast, I would go see him. But he's not performing anywhere, Gascon, because I don't know if you know this, fun has been canceled, okay? Politicians have canceled fun. They have.
Oh, man. Well, it depends on what state you're in, because we got kids that are playing high school football in certain states, and we got college and NFL guys that can't do anything here in California.
All right, are we going to move on here, Gascon? People are ripping you. They're just destroying you in the chat, which I love.
Yeah, it's great. A guy like Pierre should never rip anyone. His name's Pierre. Like, your name is Pierre. Just go waddle off somewhere else. Go put your head into a hole.
That is Alf, the alien opiner.
Yeah.
A legend. He's the last of the Mohegans. Actually, he's the last of the Muppets. We had a hostile takeover by Herbert Birdsfoot, the Great Opiner, and all the other all the other Muppet mascots who were attacking Ernie, the Great Opiner. In fact, this hostile takeover by the Muppet militia chased away Ernie, the Great Opiner, and he quit the show because of those guys.
That's lame.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, there you go.
Bullying in 2020.
Steven says Irvine High School is definitely on the wrong side of the chart. So I went to Irvine. I went to a couple of high schools.
Yeah.
Some very, very mean high. Yeah, I was not a great student in high school. All right, anyway,
Yeah.
Kansas City at Denver. Now, this is a game I am going to be focused in on Sunday. Not that it's a compelling matchup because it's a mismatch, but it's on CBS. Kevin Harlan and Trent Green. The Chiefs are a 10-point favorite in this game. They opened up a 9.5-point favorite. The forecast for the Denver area on Sunday at Empower Field at Mile High, 11 degrees and snow.
Love it.
We have a snow game for the Broncos and the Chiefs, and I am going to take the Denver Broncos in this game. Drew Lock leads the NFL in deep passes. Not that that's going to matter here. He's been very aggressive. He came back. He didn't play very well last week. He had some late turnovers. The Broncos were able to win the game. They did keep getting field goals, which was obviously all they needed last week to beat the New England Patriots. Denver, if they win this game, they'll make some noise. But just keeping it close, the Broncos, if they were to pull the upset, which they're not going to do, they would be back to 500. We have Denver and Detroit this weekend, two teams that are supposed to be terrible, that if they win their games, they're 500. They're right in the mix for a playoff spot. But the Broncos have actually been a very good bet under Uncle Vic. Did you know that, Uncle Vic Fangio? Vic Fangio, as coach of the Broncos, 9-3 against the spread their last 12 games. The Broncos have a 750 winning percentage as a dog. Last 12 games. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. The Chiefs obviously are so much more talented across the board. You look at the injury report and you're like, oh, maybe this is going to be the great equalizer in the game. As you start poking around, you're like, well, is that guy going to play? Is that guy going to play? You start having some fun with the various numbers there. The Chiefs, without their tackle, Mitchell Schwartz, also Sammy Watkins is still out. He's got a bad hamstring. So there are some injury concerns for Kansas City. The Chiefs are expected to have Le'Veon Bell this weekend in snowy Denver. I like the Broncos. They're a feisty team. I like them to keep it close. Chiefs 27, Broncos get the cover. They score 20. And the Penny picks.
Penny is also going with the Denver Broncos, who you did not back last week.
I did not, but the Penny, there's the Penny right there, thanks to Chris in Makokata, Iowa.
9.5-point dogs at New England, and you failed to take them. It's good. It's
That's
good. Put the damn penny down. What's wrong with you?
Can I spend this? Does this have any actual value there? I could spend the penny?
I bet you go find out.
I bet there's some dumb person at a cash register somewhere that would take that and say, okay.
Take it to a bank.
All right, Jacksonville 1-5 at the LA Chargers 1-4. It's on CBS. Andrew Catalan and James Lofton have the call on this game. The Chargers opened up a 7.5-point favorite. They are favored by 8 as of last report at SoFi Stadium. Mostly cloudy, 66 degrees at kickoff, and I am going to take the Lightning Bolts. I'm going to take the Chargers here. I generally, as you guys know, I do not like, you the listener know, I do not like betting big favorites. Teams over a touchdown, but everything indicates Chargers, Chargers, Chargers. We'll start with the foundation here that Jacksonville has zero chance of winning this game unless they fix the defense. The Jags have allowed 464 yards per game. That is worst in the NFL over the last 3 games. So the last 3 games, they've been terrible. That is Matador defense, as the late, great Chick Hearn would say back in the day there, the Hall of Fame broadcaster. Ole, ole, ole. That's how you do ole, ole, ole. That's a Matador. Is that not allowed anymore to do the Matador defense? That's what they sound like, right?
Yeah, of course they do. Yes. But
all
you need that red cape.
I don't have the red cape. Gardner Minshew, boy, he has regressed. What happened?
This is your guy, man.
I know, Minshew Mania. He's playing like Baker Mayfield lately. He's got 6 turnovers, an 86 passer rating, 3 fumbles, 3 interceptions over the last 4 games. That ain't going to get it done. And Doug Marrone said this week that he did not consider pulling Gardner Minshew, but maybe in the future, maybe this week, the backup quarterback is the draft. You know who the draft is, Gascon, in the NFL?
No, who is the draft?
No, he looks like a draft. The backup quarterback.
Yeah, who is it?
Mike Glennon.
Oh, man.
Remember Mike Glennon?
Old Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback.
Yeah, he looks like a giraffe because his neck is so long. It looks like you're at a zoo looking at a giraffe.
If you get
I'm serious.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, Jacksonville is 4-9 their last 13 games against the points. That's a .308 winning percentage. I was on Jacksonville a lot this year. They have not been very kind to me. They were very good to me the first week against the Indianapolis Colts, but I'm done. This is the first really easy matchup for Justin Herbert, the rookie quarterback for the Chargers. He's played some average to above average defensive teams. Carolina, the Buccaneers, a very good defensive team. The Saints I think of them as a middle of the pack defense, but now he plays a real lightweight, and he should just gorge on the Mr. Softies that play for Jacksonville. Chargers are going to score 40 points in this game. Chargers 40, Jaguars 23. And the penny picked.
Penny is going with the stash and going with Minshew Mania, going with the Jacksonville Jaguars in this one.
Chris says, I saw Mike Glennon playing the Music City Bowl years ago. Well, that's because you're old, Chris. You're an old man, Chris. That's why.
Ageism. There we go.
Hey, David, the guy with Roscoe the Parrot, says classic Chargers. What does he say? Classic Chargers game, last 10, he says. I don't know what that means. I'm sure it's good. Dave says, I really liked Gardner Minshew until he started playing like Marcel in Brooklyn. Mismatch. Mixed match. Yeah, that's right. That's funny. And Marcel has not – God love him. He hasn't figured out that we're totally onto him. That's the beauty of Marcel. All right, so the penny – who's the penny picking Gascon in this game? Did you already give the pick?
Yeah.
Jacksonville. All right. Sunday night football. Seattle 5-0 at Arizona. Alligator Arms Murray 4-2. It's on NBC with Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth. Now, the Seahawks opened a 3-point favorite. That line has moved up to 5, so the Seahawks are a 5-point favorite in this game. And you look at the injury report here, and you see DeAndre Hopkins missed practice on Wednesday and Thursday. He was limited on Friday. Will he play? He's got a bad ankle. Is he going to be available? Cardinals also have one of their offensive linemen listed as questionable, Kelvin Beachum. They got a couple of guys on defense, a couple of linebackers, and a defensive lineman who are also listed as questionable, a defensive back. So the injuries are piling up. Hopkins is expected to be on the field to play on Sunday night. I am going to take the Cardinals in this game to cover the spread. I'm going to take the Cardinals. Now, the Seahawks, if you look at Pete Carroll's team, coming off a bye week, Seattle, they have just an 11-12 record when they've had the rest advantage in the Russell Wilson era. So they actually have a losing record when they've had more rest going against an opponent since Russell Wilson took over. in this era. The encouraging news for Seattle, if you're a Seattle bettor, is, as we mentioned, DeAndre Hopkins is dinged up. And Seattle's defense has allowed an NFL high 1,472 yards to opposing receivers. That is mind-boggling. Now, I rightfully criticized the Oompa Loompa, Alligator Arms Murray. Now, that is his official nickname, Alligator Arms Murray, because that was in the Arizona Republic. So if a newspaper reported, if it's fit to print Gascon, then that's his nickname. I hope Pro Football Reference will add that to his player page. But we mentioned it on the radio. This is what upset the fanboys in the Arizona media. Kyler Murray had 2 burned coverages by Dallas. That was 75% of his passing yards. The rest of his passes, he averaged 2.2 yards per pass against Dallas. Dallas is terrible defensively. Well, so is Seattle. They're also terrible. The Cardinals lead the NFL in penalties per game. But the reason I am taking Arizona to cover, I like home dogs. They're generally hungry. The Seahawks, while they've been very good on the road, underdogs, if you look at underdogs here in primetime games so far this season, underdogs have hit 700% of the time. It's 15-6. That's a 714 winning percentage in favor of the underdog in primetime games. And listen, I took the Cowboys last week in a primetime game. Obviously, Arizona won that game. The Rams on Sunday night, we're going to get to that, or Monday night, rather. I'm going to get to that game next. But I'm taking Seattle to win. I'll take Arizona to cover as a home dog, getting over a field goal in a divisional game. Seahawks 30 and the Cardinals 27.
Penny has also got the Redbirds in this one. I can't believe Seattle's defense has given up almost 500 yards a game. That's absolutely atrocious.
Well, how about the fact that the defense, they're the worst defense against opposing receivers. Yeah. They can't, they're defensive backs. I know you look at the injury report, Jamal Adams and his situation, he's been out and dinged up, and there's some other guys hurt for Seattle, but I'm taking the Cardinals. I'm obviously not a Cardinal guy, but I'm a opportunistic gambler, and I'll bet on Deshaun Watson. I'm not a big Deshaun Watson guy, but if the numbers look good, I'll bet on Deshaun Watson. I didn't do it this week. Lamar Jackson, the Ravens aren't playing, but if the Ravens are the team, I'll bet on them.
Yeah, fair
enough.
Do
we have another question here, Gascon?
We do.
Do we have another question?
One.
What is it?
Final one. The last time the Browns made the playoffs was back in 2002, and I led the league in passing. I did this while on my 3rd team. Who am I?
All right, so is that phrased properly? Let me see here. So was this the Browns quarterback, or just the quarterback that led the NFL that year?
The quarterback that led the NFL that year.
All right. What year was it again?
2002.
All right. David, friend of Roscoe the Parrot, says the Cardinals had played the Seahawks tough in the NFC West the past couple of years. He says Cardinals plus the points is the play. And he says Murray might be Mighty Mouse, but the Cards are also 65% home dog cover the last couple of years. All right. Very nice. Some of the answers. Alf, the alien opiner, is going with Bubby Brister.
Man.
Chris says it's Fitz Magic, that is the answer. Dan, he's going with Tim Couch. Do you remember Tim Couch?
I do. Kentucky quarterback.
You know what? That's because you're old.
We are old, yes.
I'm not old. I'm young, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I only saw a video on YouTube of Tim Couch. Russell's going with Brett Favre. Penny, the burner account, says Bernie is the answer. And we've got Jake Plummer, guessed by Mason, the millennial in the Bay Area. Chris, who I guess is not even a millennial. He's like Gen Z. He's probably lying. But Barry Larkin is his guess. Charlie is going with Brian Hoyer. Steven, the bitter Steelers fan who lives in Ohio, says Derek Anderson of the Browns. Scott going with Otto Graham. Mike says AJ Touchy-Feely is the answer. Max checks in with Burger King James. I don't know if you heard it last night on the show, Gascon. I did a LeBron monologue. He's been accused of illegal business activities.
No kidding.
Yeah, I can't believe that did not become a bigger story. It's almost like the NBA media is covering for LeBron James. Yeah. They wouldn't do that, would they?
No, not at all.
No.
Too many business interests, right?
No, they would never do that. All right, what's the answer? We've got one more game. One more game.
The correct answer is Rich Gannon. Back in 2002, led the NFL in passing that season.
All right, 2002. Was that his MVP season, Rich Gannon? Was that? Yeah, there you go.
Yes, sir.
All right, Monday Night Football. Chicago. The Bears, 5-1. The LA Rams at 4-2. Steve Levy, Brian Griese, and Louis Riddick, the very average Monday Night Football broadcast team on ESPN, will call this game.
I like that Brian Griese crushes a lot of guys when he calls the games.
Yeah, I liked his old man more as a broadcaster.
Bob?
I thought his old man, Bob Griese, I thought was really good.
Were you more partial to the Al Michaels, Dan Dierdorf, and who else do we have in there? Oh, Frank Gifford.
Yeah, well, anything with Al Michaels, I think, is great.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to name drop Gascon. The LA Kings, when they were in the Stanley Cup final, was back 2 out of 3 years, right? A couple of years back.
Yep.
Al Michaels had dinner at the table I was sitting at. He's a huge LA Kings fan, and he was in the media dining room, and he was having dinner. And so I guess technically I could say he's a friend because we had dinner at the same table. We didn't talk.
But, did you ask him about the game and ask him if he had the over or the under?
No, I didn't. Although when the Kings, this is actually another one of those funny, random non sequitur. But when the Kings won their first Stanley Cup, when they won the game at Staples Center, I was standing waiting. We were waiting to go out on the ice, and I was standing with Barry Melrose, old LA Kings coach, who was he still broadcasts for ESPN. And we were watching on a monitor as the final seconds went away and the Kings won the Stanley Cup. All right, now, so let's get to the game. Chicago and the LA Rams. Rams mentioned a 5.5-point favorite at SoFi Stadium in the hood in Inglewood. I'm going to take the Chicago Bears. The Bears. I'm going to take the Chicago Bears in this game. I'm going to tell you what. Now, Nick Foles, he's not been the answer, but the public perception is the answer. Nick Foles is the 27th ranked quarterback in the NFL. And the Bears, even though they're winning, Nick Foles, his passer grade sucks on Pro Football Focus. The offense is near the bottom in expected points per play. So they've obviously got huge offensive issues. Now, the reason you bet on the Bears, defense. I actually hope I'm wrong. I hope I lose this game, but from a gambling standpoint, you've got to be on the right side of it, and the right side of it is Chicago. Sean McVay in the Rams, they're 4-0 against the NFC East. They've beaten Dallas, Philadelphia, Washington, and the Giants. They've played two teams that are not in the junior varsity, two varsity teams, Buffalo and the 49ers. They're 0-2. So they haven't beaten a real NFL team yet this season. Jared Goff was horrific. He had that flop sweat going last week in the primetime loss to the 49ers, which nobody was watching because everyone was watching the Dodgers and the Atlanta Braves. He was uncomfortable against the Niners last week. You figure he's going to be uncomfortable against this good Chicago Bear defense with the MAC attack and everything else they've got on defense there. The Bears they've only allowed 4 passing touchdowns to opposing quarterbacks, and they've picked off 5 passes. And that is right near the top for any defense in the NFL. Think about it. They played 6 games. The opposing quarterback has just 4 passing touchdowns and 5 interceptions. The Bears also are 3-0 versus the line as the road team, and they are 4-1 as a dog this season. This is going to be a low-scoring, ugly type of game. Expect a cadre of mistakes. I'm going to take Chicago. The Chicago Bears 20 and the LA Rams 17. And the penny picks.
Last one, it's going to the home team, the LA Rams in this one.
All right, very good. The LA Rams is the pick, so we disagree on that. And just to recap, for those of you that are late to the party, bad job by you. Although I do admit we change the time on this thing every week. But I had to watch the Dodger game, so I could not be interrupted before or during the Dodger game. That's why we're doing this when we're doing it this week. But the picks, again, I'm already 1-0. I had the Giants. I gave you guys the Giants on the radio show. And then on this show, we have done, what have we done? Bengals, right? We give out the Bengals?
Yep. Yeah, Bengals, Dallas, Detroit, Panthers, Bills, Packers, Pittsburgh, Raiders, Patriots, Chargers, Denver, Arizona, and then Chicago for the Monday night nightcap.
All right, those are the picks. And we're about on time. We did about a 10-minute bit on the chart on the Dodgers.
Yeah.
So if you take away the 10 minutes that we did on the Dodger game against Tampa Bay, we've been in that. We try to keep this to 90 minutes. So we've really done pretty well with 10 minutes of Dodger talk, right?
Yeah.
And you've got that distracting background behind you, like you're the nightly news anchor. My God.
Just delivering the news, baby. Someone's mad. Why don't you upgrade your background?
I'm not mad, man. I'm not mad at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
It sounds like it. You got mildew in your picture in the background.
I've got that rustic concrete ceiling.
Rusty. You got varmints upstairs. You got
Mr. Big Time.
Who?
You're Mr. Big Time.
Oh, nothing wrong with that.
All right, I got to get out of here. It's my weekend, Gascon. I only get a little. Yeah, I'm not like you. I don't have a lot of time off, man. I got limited time. I got a wife I've got to hang out with here. Okay.
Oh, you got to hang out with. Yes. All right.
I don't see her any other night. I'm always working every night, man.
Anyways, quit your bitching and moaning. Anyways, guys, if you'd like to, the description, it has the link for Fanatics, also the link for Ecamm Live, and we'll have all these picks for Ben timestamped. They will be up first thing on Saturday morning. Enjoy college football, and of course, week number 7. This show is on demand, so you can watch it at any given time. Pass along, give it a thumbs up. We would greatly appreciate it.
Yes, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Podcast, and then the radio show back on Sunday night.